Making a mistake where you end somebody's life doesn't even matter if you were well-intentioned or not. You know, that's just too much, right? You can't make those mistakes. That just shouldn't be acceptable.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Another something that has been another killing that has been in the news lately has been the Decatur police killing of Steve Perkins, who was killed in his yard again in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m. At this one,
it's just so obscene. I mean,
yeah,
in your own home.
Yes. Because he had a gun. Again, here, you know, this is Alabama. We're supposedly have a Second Amendment. Supposedly, we have constitutional carry. We can carry our guns like wherever the hell we want, supposedly. But cops can kill us if we have it in our home, if we have a gun in our home. It's just insane. But the Decatur chief of police has released a statement on his investigation, the internal investigation within the Decatur Police Department. The internal investigation by the Decatur Police Department's Office of Professional Standards into the death of Stephen Perkins is complete. On Thursday, I met with the involved officers concerning the report, reviewed the findings, and gave them an opportunity to be heard before I made any decision. I found reason to believe that policies were violated, and the final report and findings were sent to the legal department and outside counsel late this afternoon to prepare the formal documents to move forward the discipline process. Under our merit system rules, a chief of police cannot issue discipline beyond written reprimands, and it is my professional opinion that such discipline is warranted. The mayor will conduct a review and make a final determination if discipline is warranted and to what extent. And now here, you know, people talk about unions protecting bad employees. People talk about, you know, that you just can't get rid of a bad teacher. It's just impossible. You can't do it. You can't get rid of a bad teacher. You can't get rid of a bad federal employee or a bad private sector worker if there's a union contract. And we've gone over how that is just silly, right? But this is unironically the case with police. Because imagine that you have killed a person. You've killed a guy. In the best case scenario, this was a mistake, right? You've killed a person because of your professional mistake. And the worst thing that your boss can do is give you written reprimand. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, even in cases where there is a killing that is actually genuinely a mistake and there should be no criminal charges or anything like that, they should immediately be fired and should never be able to work a law enforcement job again, right? Because you make a mistake in, you know, an office setting as a clerical employee, you know, oh, you forgot to capitalize this or that or whatever, you know, that's fine. And you can correct it and you can move forward and become better. But like, making a mistake where you end somebody's life doesn't even matter if you were well-intentioned or not. You know, that's just too much, right? You can't make those mistakes. That just shouldn't be acceptable. The officer who fired, and back to the statement, the officer who fired his weapon remains on paid administrative leave. As a matter of policy, officers who are placed on administrative leave continue to be paid while due process takes place. The other 2 officers who were on duty at the time of the shooting and the involved supervisor remain on duty, but on administrative assignments. Additionally, I have made the determination that while the Decatur Police Department policies and procedures are accredited through the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, we will be conducting a review of all policies and updating or adding policies that could help reduce the likelihood of something like this ever happening again. I also want to address reports in the media about Mr. Perkins' vehicle being repossessed by the recovery company shortly after Mr. Perkins was shot. This is true. This is true.
Wow.
And while no policy I mean, can you believe like being okay, you know, now we're moving outside of the cops. Can you believe being a guy working for a tow truck company and like, oh, this guy is sitting dead in his yard and now I'm going to take his car, right? Like, even if, and I have heard reports that this was, again, this was also a case of the wrong house. I haven't been able to myself confirm those reports. I'm not totally sure. But even if it was the right house, right? Like, if I'm that guy, I'm calling my boss. I'm like, look, the guy's dead. Okay, let's work this out another time. This is not the time. It's not the time, right? While no policy exists for every potential situation a police department may encounter, I fully understand why the officer's decision to allow this to occur caused additional hurt to Mr. Perkins' family and our community. I'm sorry for the additional pain caused and pledged we are working to address the culture of our police department. Yeah, good luck. To ensure compassion remains at the top of our core values. I would like to remind the public that the Decatur Police Department's administrative investigation and any outcome pertain to the violation of the department policy only. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is conducting a separate criminal investigation to determine if there were any violations of Alabama law. Finally, my thoughts remain with the family and friends of Mr. Perkins and all those in our community and beyond impacted by his death. This has been a very painful chapter for Decatur, and I recognize healing will not occur for many until after all information that can be released has been made public and all determinations on violation of policy and state law are completed and potential litigation resolved. As I have stated before, while the Decatur Police Department is not in control of when information pertaining to the criminal investigation will be released, I remain committed to encouraging it be shared as soon as feasible. The city of Decatur will continue to share any new information that is able to be shared as it becomes available. So there we go. That's the statement from the Decatur Police Department on the police killing of Steve Perkins in his yard because he had a gun.
I do want to take a moment to just send my support and love for the people who have been demonstrating and who have been continually keeping the pressure on officials in Decatur. From afar, it really looks like the community in Decatur has banded together. And, I've seen really diverse crowds of folks out there any given night. With actions throughout the week and really, really trying to bring justice for Steve Perkins. And so shout out to those folks. I know some of those folks who are going out there, they're very dedicated. And, unfortunately, it takes a lot of public pressure to get any just information, much less justice. And so, that's what we got to do is we have to keep pressuring these folks because this unfortunately keeps happening. And it's, as you mentioned earlier, it disproportionately affects working class people, black and brown people in particular. But, it's unacceptable no matter what. It's just unacceptable.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project. And you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.